What's up, YouTube? Just your man Truth here. Just had some oh man, you can see the grays in my face. Yeah, recently married fella, and I was just sitting in my car and I just had some thoughts, some things that's been going on. As I scroll through the YouTube streets, I find it actually hilarious about, some of the advice that some of these guys give as far as, being in a relationship, meeting and dating women in the modern era. I think it's I think a lot of it is a little too toxic. And I'm not a simp by no means. I do believe in standing on principles, and definitely you know being a masculine man. But at some point you got to realize that in order for you to get a feminine woman, you need to be a masculine man, which means you got to work on yourself. I'm personally one of those people, just based on experience, that you probably shouldn't be dating until you can, you have your finances together. There are a lot of things that you should be, pouring your energy into instead of chasing a date. And number one, because dating is expensive. And you don't want to be spending a lot of money and time and investing your emotions into someone and find out that it's just not for you. And that's money you can't get back. And I mean, money that you can get back, but that's time you can't get back. Time is our most precious resource. So and to me, for advice for a young fella out there, I mean, I say young, but I'm 41. I waited till later in my life to get married. Like I said, been married about 2 months now. So, and I waited till I found the right person. I looked for a person who was, a feminine, who took care of me, who wasn't impressed by, monetary things. A very, very simple girl. I mean, she's beautiful. I love my wife, but she's very, she's simple. She doesn't require a lot. She requires, obviously things that every woman does, protection and provision, and she does require attention, but she's not an attention seeker, right? She's not the type of person that I have to worry about from time to time, and I think that's what a lot of these guys are missing because you don't want to. I say that because you don't want to focus so much on not finding the right person and saying all women are bad, because yeah, you're gonna have to pick through a few. Obviously, there's going it is rough out here. But if you stand to your principles and you stand on business and you mean what you say and say what you mean, I find that you will weed out those individuals who mean you no good. I think sometimes we get caught up in the glitz and glam of a woman, uh, and we chase the wrong things. And sometimes you got to realize, that's another human being over there. They do everything the same way you do it. They have the same flaws you have. They have the same wants and desires you have. And by you putting them on a pedestal and or putting them above yourself, you put yourself in a position to lose almost every single time. Um, when you cherish yourself just as much as you cherish the other person, especially in the dating phase, I feel that it allows you to really recognize red flags and recognize that, hey, this person is not for me, and allows you to make better decisions. So I think a lot of these guys also you have to understand where you are. You attract what you are, not what you want. So if you're a guy out here and you're looking for somebody who's drop dead gorgeous, but you're not working on yourself, you don't have your finances together, you don't look good, you're not, 6 foot whatever, making six figures as they say what they want, as what they say they want. You're probably not gonna get the results that you want. Now that's not to say that you can't get somebody very, very attractive and decent for you, but you're gonna have to level up. You don't have to be a top G, or nothing like that, but you do have to make sure you're putting your best foot forward. I think, that's also where a lot of resentment comes from. I think that's one thing that the community doesn't address when it comes to men dating is there's a lot of anger and aggression because there's certain men who feel that they deserve more from a woman than what they actually do, right? Like for example, this is just me, my own personal opinion. If you're looking for a woman who cooks and cleans and takes care of you, then you have to make sure that you're protected and providing for her. There needs to be some type of trade-off. You can't expect a woman to cook for you, bring your place, and exude those traditional values to you if you can't exude those traditional values back in some form of fashion. Obviously, in 2025, it's hard to pay all the bills and be the sole proprietor of income, but it's not impossible to put yourself in a financial situation where she feels comfortable uh, relying on you to provision for the family. What I mean by that? Sometimes we'll be in a position, and we're not putting our best foot forward. Like for example, for me, I was in banking for a long time, and I transitioned to information technology years ago now. I've been in the field for about 6 years now. But I realized that I didn't have any skills. Like I had the gift of gab. I could talk, which is how I got into banking, through sales and things like that. And sales is a definitely a good skill, but it wasn't. I didn't have a polished skill, right? I wanted to have a skill that no matter where I went, in addition to having that sales skill, um, that I could always feed my family, right? So, with that said, I went back to school, got a degree, and I'm currently in school again. I wanted to continue to level up, and I think that's the key. You got to always continue to level up, and always be learning, and that feeds into the next part of that process is that you want your woman to look at you and say, "Hey, I can trust this person to lead us because look at the fabulous job he's doing with his own life." I think a lot of guys get in situations where they don't really have their lives together, and they expect a woman to bow down and be submissive to that, and she has her life together more than he does. And I mean, it just wouldn't make sense for any woman to be submissive to someone that's not doing better than her. I mean, that's hypergamy in a nutshell. I think sometimes we get it confused and say, okay, that hypergamy nature is, this woman's always going to chase the biggest and best. But if she can feel solid with you as a man, I think that'll allow you to, see the best feminine side of her. I mean, because there's so many attributes and traits that you can present from masculinity. That's not just about having hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, you want to try to earn as much as you can, but you also want to make sure that your woman can go to you for knowledge. Does she trust your knowledge? Are you informed enough in the world to guide her, and when she has an opinion on something? Now, that leads me to a segue on that, right? So women are too opinionated, and if you find yourself, and I don't mean that to say that having an opinion is wrong, but sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where you're trying to argue your opinion to another person, and unfortunately you have to leave them where they are because obviously your goals and your particular opinions and beliefs in life are not aligning, right? So go where you're appreciated and not tolerated, right? I know people have probably heard that before, but you want to go where you're appreciated and not tolerated. And if I find myself on a date with a woman, and anytime I expound upon my opinions on a subject, I'm met with fiery resistance. I mean, and not them trying to understand where I'm coming from, or them at least being open to what I'm saying, then that's probably not a person I really want to continue to contact with. Because even if my opinions are wrong, I'm not going to say every opinion that comes out your mouth is gospel. But I don't want to be with a person that, let's say I say my opinion, and then they don't believe, they disagree with it, and now it's a knockdown, drag out fight. That just tells you that's the type of relationship you're going to have going forward. And now, on the flip side of that, if you are informed enough, you should be having, you should be able to make informed decisions and informed opinions that should be respected by anybody who has sense, right? Because like I said, I may not know all be all, but if you're informed enough on a topic that we can engage in a debate where I might learn something, you might learn something, that's great. But I definitely don't want to be with a woman that is going to fight me tooth and nail on anything that I say. I mean, that tells me right then and there we're not aligned. So I'm not going to try to argue you to my point. Either you're going to be on my program because I'm going to be leading the relationship, or you're not. And I think it's important to understand that, as a man, you are supposed to lead a relationship. And what I mean by leading is, you're not dismissing her opinions. You're not, telling her that whatever she wants is irrelevant, but you're going to be the one to take the brunt of the decision making. You're going to be the person that takes the brunt of, what comes along with that, right? That is part of being a man. That's why I say, not, it's not always about the money you have, but the position you hold, right? And you can make, a decent amount of money, where it's not, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But you say, hey, instead of, us trying to get this luxury car, why don't we get this particular car? Instead of us getting this luxury house, we need to get this house. And if she trusts you, that particular money that you're making will stretch longer. And it may not cover everything, especially in 2025, but it will put you in a position that you're financially comfortable and stable to be able to provide for yourself, right? Because thinking about this, if you're in a situation where you put yourself, you've gotten the skills necessary to be able to provide for yourself, meaning you can, put a roof over your head, you can put, you have a car to drive, you're making wise financial decisions, you're investing and saving money, right? Based off of whatever amount that you have, right? Adding a person into your life that will bring value, right? This person you bring in, they're cooking, they're cleaning, they're providing emotional support, and they're doing their part, is not going to be hard. Now, if you bring in a person that is going to be a mental headache, and now they require so much of your resources, that is actually causing a financial strain, then that's the relationship's not going to work, right? Because I believe that the proper woman in your life will multiply what you put into it, right? So if you have a person that is subtracting from you, and your life is, you're noticing yourself, there's a strain on you because this particular person is causing you to live beyond your means, cut that off immediately, right? And I think that, that's why I also believe that, like I said, you should be dating till you're at least financially stable, and you are on the path of achieving your dreams, and you have purpose, right? And that brings me to another part, having purpose in your life. I think that so few men today have purpose that they find themselves lost, and they find their identity in what type of woman they can pull, or how many women they're dating. But if you had that purpose, it really wouldn't matter to you, right? If let's say if you're on your purpose, you got a set goal for yourself, right? And you're saying, hey, by this particular time, I want to get this done. I want to get this done. I want to get this done, right? If a woman comes along in your life and she's not adding to you achieving that goal, you'll have less tolerance for her. But if a woman comes along in your life and you have no goals, and you're just living day to day, right? You're in your routine. This woman now has added value because she's distracting you from the monotony of your own life, right? She is helping you break the routine of your own life. And now your emotions are so wrapped up in this person that when they start to rock the boat and show you all type of red flags, you hold on anyway because you don't have nothing else going on. But if you had your own thing going on and you were able to, stay focused on the goals that you had set for yourself, anybody who wasn't helping you achieve those goals, whether it be mentally, spiritually, financially, whatever this particular woman is bringing to the table, you cut them off. And that's the other thing, and that's a weird thing me and my sister was talking about. A lot of people talk about what do you bring to the table? I mean, no man's going to ask you straight out, what do you bring to the table? I think it's a weird question. However, it's not a weird sentiment, right? Because you don't want to have a table established and have someone who just eats from the table. They didn't bring nothing to the table. They're not serving you at the table. They're not putting furnishings on the table. They're just sitting down to eat. And I think if you're on your purpose as a man and you have your stuff together, you can automatically see who's not bringing anything to the table. You don't have to ask the question. I think it's a weird question to ask, but it's not a weird mind space to be in, right? You can look at a woman, even with your friends. You can look at any relationship and say, okay, what is this person adding to my current life? And if they're not adding anything, move on. Move on. But anyway, that's just my thoughts for today. Look forward to sharing more thoughts with you guys. If you could do me a favor, just hit the like, and if you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you disagree with anything I said, please comment below, and we'll continue this conversation another day. Until then, thanks YouTube. Have a great day.